kind of got involved, and then I was offered a job just by chance and took it in the theater, and that was the end of my coffee.
That was no
days.
more coffee, no more vinyl moves for him. And
No.
Clockwork was the second movie, right? It was after If.
No, Clockwork was my fourth movie. I did Figures in a Landscape was the second movie I did. Joe Losey directed it with Robert Shaw. And then I did a little English movie called The Raging Moon, which was called Long Ago Tomorrow here. It's about a paraplegic, and is a very nice movie. And then Clockwork.
Yeah.
With Stanley, and then I went on to do Oh Lucky Man, which is another great film, and Lindsay Anderson again, who was my, if you like, mentor or whatever. Certainly a great teacher and a great man, a brilliant director, and one of the nicest people ever.
Did you feel that you said that? I think I watched the DVD and all the stuff for the 40th anniversary. Oh yeah, it was great. Wow. The commentary was amazing. I never watched commentary.
No,
but it was. Didn't you say that you kind of felt that Oh Lucky Man got overshadowed a bit by Clockwork, and that kind of annoyed you a little bit?
Well, yes, because that was. I wrote the initial treatment for Oh Lucky Man, which starts off being about a guy who's a coffee salesman. Surprise, surprise. And who goes on a journey, a rather naive journey through life, looking for success, which is basically what we all do, isn't it?
Sure. Yeah.
And we all want to be successful, but at what price? And the film is a parable, and it's a beautiful film. It's still very relevant. I love the film. I showed it to some Italian journalists about a year ago. We got a big screen, with 35mm print, and they came out of this thing. They went, "It's so subversive."
Really?
Yeah. It sort of is, in a way. It's very subversive because it shows every establishment figure to be corrupt and basically evil.
Oh, so it's pretty accurate.
Well, here we go.
Yeah.
I mean, you said it, not me.
Yeah.
I have a Clockwork question that we debated at one point,
yes.
and I firmly believe this, and everybody told me I was wrong. When you go back to the writer's house, and when does he? I think he recognizes you the minute you come in, because he knows you from the newspapers. He knows the guy in the paper is the one who killed. And they said, no, he doesn't recognize Alex until he's singing in the bathtub. I think he recognized you as soon as you came in. What is the proper answer for that?
You are wrong.
I am wrong?
Sorry to say.
And I can't argue because it's him.
The thing is, you are wrong and you are right. Because
damn it.
Because it's really up to every individual member of the audience to... I mean, it doesn't really matter when he... I mean, if he does recognize him when I walk in, then why does he wait so long? So it doesn't really make any sense. But as soon as he recognizes him, because he
he
has
goes
this reaction
goes
to
a little
it.
crazy.
Yeah. And then he comes down and when I'm eating and goes, "Food, all right."
What is, we have that.
Try the wine. Oh, very nice. Yes. Oh, lovely. Oh, what's that? Oh, scented stuff. Oh, step. Yeah, lovely. 1967. Lovely.
And you said he said it felt like he was taking a dump. Patrick McGee, right? Is his name?
He came to me and he went, "What is Malcolm? He's Irish, what is with this Kubrick?" He goes, "Jesus, I mean, he's making me go so over the top. I feel like I'm chewing the scenery. I mean,
oh shit! Wow.
This is the last shot. I feel like I'm taking a dump. I'm saying more. I mean, and there's no fucking Guinness on the set." He said, "Do you think you could do something about that?" I said, "I'll try." So I went to Stanley. I went, Stanley, why don't you get the props to just get a couple of Guinnesses for Pat? So he goes, "I don't want drinking on." I said, No. He's Irish.
That's not drinking.
That just lubricates. It's really to get him up for the. He goes, so they bought a case which was like 24 small bottles, and Stanley 3 days later he calls me over and he goes, "Malcolm, that wasn't a very good suggestion." He goes, I went to check on the prop truck how many bottles are left. He goes, "There isn't one." So he's drunk 24 bottles in 3 days. I went, and have you seen how great he's been?
Perfect. Yeah,
exactly.
Scenes are fun. Did you notice while you were filming it? Were you feeling the same thing? Like some scenes were maybe over the top or a little odd or something, and then seeing the final version, were you happy with what came out?
I never thought it was odd. No, because it is a stylized film. It's stylized. It's bigger than life and out there, and it's a sort of You know, I mean, everybody freaks about the violence and stuff, or they did 40 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's a comedy. I mean, I made a black comedy. You know, that's what I made. And when it came out, of course, everybody was so stunned with the look and everything else because, you know, it's the first time anyone had seen this look and the bowlers and the cod pieces and the whites and the eyelash and all that kind of stuff was sort of, then it was absolutely like it was from the moon or something. And then, you know, the Korova milk bar. The way it starts off, the first 20 minutes are amazing because it gives you no time to breathe. It's just wham, 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 and finishes with Singing in the Rain, you know. I know. Completely ruined that song for people.
No, it didn't. It made it good. That song sucked until you grabbed it.
Well, the truth is, you know, we didn't know what to do because in the so-called script was just a real skeleton to work from. You know, the boys come in, menace the guy, kick him down the stairs, and then throw bottles of booze through the windows. And he had all these, you know, sugar glass windows made. And I'm like, Stanley, that's sort of pathetic. Who cares? So, you know, we sat around for 5 days and didn't turn the camera. And I'd come to work and I'd see Harrod Truck there, you know, from Harrod's, changing the furniture, the look, and he thought it was there somewhere. And in the end, he just walked past me and he goes, can you dance? And I by this time I'd kind of got my energy back and I was getting bored. So I went, can I dance? And I went straight into sing. I just improvised the whole thing of slapping her, whacking, boom, bouncing the ball, and he was like, get in the car, drove back to his house, and he bought the rights to Singing in the Rain for 10 grand.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
So cut a year later, then we had to go back, of course, and shoot the thing, and I'm going, what did I do there? Anybody write that down? You know, no, I had to do it all again. Anyway, a year later, I came out to Hollywood to meet people at the studio and all the rest of it, and so this minder said to me, you know, there's a big party in Beverly Hills. Would you want to come along? Then I think there's going to be a few movie stars there. And I went, yeah, what? God, yeah, I'm from Liverpool. Of course I want to meet these movie stars, you know. And we go in there, and he goes, you won't believe it, Gene Kelly's here. I went, oh, my God, how great. And he had his back to me, and the minder guy just tapped him on the shoulder. He goes, Gene, I'd like you to meet Malcolm McDowell. He looked at me like I'd crawled out from a rock, and he just turned and walked away.
Holy shit.
And the guy goes, I do apologize. I said, don't apologize. I mean, of course he's upset. You know, I took his moment, not consciously, but there it was. You know, Hollywood gave us that as a moment of sheer joy and beauty, and you know, to see him slapping the thing and Singing in the Rain, it's euphoria, isn't it? And that's how Alex felt when he was raping and beating.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you definitely did a better job with the song. You get the choreography, the choreography in it, the brilliant, the slap. Because you wrap tape around her head, you bite the tape, it's all timed so beautifully. And Dim trying to sing along, and he just can't do it. That's the
Dooby-doo.
Ready for love.
Ready for
he
love.
just keeps saying that.
Yeah, that's right. Ready for love.
Very well, little brother. Very well. Yeah, and Kubrick.
Fantastic.
You had a great relationship with him, and I was interested in the commentary when you said that you really never saw him again after the movie. Did he sever the relationship, or what happened at the end of the movie?
You know, I was a little naive, thinking that, you know, that it would be the same sort of relationship and friendship that I had with Lindsay Anderson, who directed If and Oh Lucky Man. And so, you know, and I was a young actor, and I figured, I felt like I'd given him everything I had, you know, in the part. And that we worked together for a year, and then suddenly silence. It's sort of weird. I couldn't really handle that. I just thought, I felt so used, I think. And I felt really angry and upset. And so, and then, you know, then he kind of had me sign a waiver of forgetting the billing, saying everybody's name was going to be at the back end of the movie, which was fine with me. And then I see the movie, and there's Kubrick this, Kubrick that, and Kubrick the other 5 times. It's like, you know, we don't count as actors, and, you know, he's not the kind of director that has really any idea about the performance. You know, you ask any actor that's worked with him, he just goes, show me. Which is why I love working with him, because it meant that you could literally come with anything. I used to joke with him saying, no wonder you love Peter Sellers. He could give you 40 different voices and characters, and you'd go with it, you know.
So he was more about the look
Yeah.
than he was the performance of the actors, leaving them to... Because some
and
directors...
he wouldn't turn the camera unless there was magic there. Mm-hmm. And he'd wait, but, you know, I never got the 100 takes and all that stuff. I mean, that was down the line. I don't know why he suddenly went into... He thought that, you know, if he could, you know, bore him to death and get it. With me, I mean, seriously, if we did 10 takes, it was unusual.
And you said you seem to be on the creative process a lot, too. Like you said, you would watch the dailies, you would talk over what you were going to do, as opposed to him just going, do this. Because didn't you guys kind of did the movie from the book, didn't you?
Basically, I had the book with me all the time. He didn't. But I'd go, whoa, what are you doing? Well, that's not what it... He goes, oh, what does it say? And I'd read it out, and he'd go, oh, that's... I like that. Okay. So, you know, and sometimes he was right. Sometimes it wasn't in the book. The book really doesn't give you any hints as to really who this character of Alex is. Mm-hmm. It's a sort of veneer, and... The book is brilliant, you know, it's Burgess's masterpiece, but it's, you know, this great political sort of statement about the freedom of man to choose, you know, whether you want to be immoral or moral. I mean, that's basically what the film's about,
right.
You know, at the end of the day. And I think why it's lasted so well is that this political element is just as relevant today as it was then. Mm-hmm. You know, everything else we've caught up, you know. But don't forget, when it first came out, I mean, literally, I went to 3rd Avenue to Cinema One, and it was jammed. There were lines and the whole deal, and people were so excited, the new Kubrick movie, and they just sat there in stone silence. And I'm like, what's the matter with these Americans?
Wow.
Haven't they got a sense of humor? Don't they get it?
Get this?
Jeez, I'm like, they hate it. They really hate this movie. Oh my God, they hate it. Then one woman in the middle of it runs out into the lobby and throws up. Wow. I'm like, oh my God, I'm really making people so happy. But the truth was, you know, I hadn't really seen it in England, and it was the same thing.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, it was the same thing. I mean, they laughed maybe a little more because they got the English humor a bit.
Right, yeah.
But it was, and I understand now, overwhelming in just...
How was it taken by the critics?
They didn't like it.
Like 4 nominations, right? 4 Oscar nominations, but didn't win.
Ebert didn't like it, I remember.
Huh?
Roger Ebert gave it 2 out of 4.
Yeah.
What does he know?
Dope.
What an idiot.
But were they...
Sorry to say, but, you know, listen, you can, unfortunately, the critics can always be found out years later.
That is true.
Right. Yeah,
And what film are we watching now? And what was the one that you said was so great?
Yeah.
And what was the Academy Award winners, by the way, that, of course, have never seen the light of day? Mm-hmm. Because this film... And not because of any brilliance on the part of Warner Brothers, although, you know, they have a great department for doing that, but you can't force a movie 40 years on the public. It just ain't gonna wash.
Yeah.
And either they love it or they don't. Mm-hmm. And the fact is that this movie has stood the test of time, and it's just amazing how many more versions can they bring out, you know.
Yeah.
But they've got this 40th edition Blu-ray, which is
fantastic.
actually even better than it was when it first came out. I was amazed when I saw it.
And it has, just so you know what it has on it, because I've watched almost everything on it. It's got of course, the film. It's got the Malcolm's commentary, and it also has an additional disc, which is about Kubrick as a director. And it's amazing who you guys got for that, because Malcolm talks in it, obviously. Cruise narrates it. He's in it. Nicholson never does interviews.
Right.
All these guys talking about Kubrick. Nicole Kidman. And it's got on the DVD, it's got this thing about Clockwork 40 years later, the making of Clockwork. It's fucking, if you're a Clockwork fanatic like I am, it's amazing what's on this.
Did you see Never Apologize? Did they send you that too?
No, I'm actually was just handed this. It's,
That's great. I'm very proud of that, because that, you know, it came up because people didn't know who Lindsay Anderson was, and it really upset me. So, because he was a genius. This man was, I mean, just so incredible, as brilliant as Kubrick was in a completely different way. Kubrick was a great satirist, but Anderson was a great humanist, and he loved the human condition and found it, of course, the foibles in it, and pointed them out. But his movies are extraordinary, and I was asked to go and introduce